hope you enjoyed this lesson brought to you by Duke Banjo Ukuleles.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Katie, and today we're going to learn some really fun intros and outros that you can add to some songs that are in the key of C. So here we go. The first one sounds like this. But it's a cute little da-da-da-da-da-da, woo! And then you usually hear like a kind of thing. Let me do that again. Yes, that's my kazoo. So first what you're going to do is you're going to take finger number 3, place that on the E string. And you're going to pluck that 3 times. And then open A string, 1st fret A string, and then G7 chord, 3rd fret. Back to the E string. So we did 3, 3, 3, 0, 1, 3rd fret. So in the demo I was using some alternate fingers, but here I was using my thumb. You can use whatever you'd like to, just depends upon what you would like to do. If I'm using my thumb, do you hear how crisp that is? Like that. If I use, some alternate fingers, I have my pointer finger, and then my middle finger on the A string. G7, and I just strummed with my pointer finger, and then pointer finger with my 3rd fret, with the 3rd fret right here of the E string. Now, if you want to take this just a little bit further, we have okay, let's break that down slowly. So the first 2 measures, it's going to be the same. I'm going to take finger number 1, I'm going to place that on the 2nd fret of the E string, and finger number 2 is going to be on the 3rd fret of that E string. That's important because we're going to be doing a hammer-on and pull-off. So I'm going to pluck that E string, and then my middle finger is going to drag that string down, just push down on the string, and then pull down on that. Do you see that? How I'm moving that string? And eventually my finger right here is going to be plucking that string. So push down, drag it down until it actually strums that string. That is a pull-off, and then there's going to be a hammer-on. So this finger right here is going to quickly, boom, 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 hit that string as hard as it can, and that sound comes from the string hitting the fret. So you hear that? It's a little quiet, but if you do that quick enough, hear that? Whoops, sorry. Like that. So if you don't like that, you can do the pull-off, and then you can pluck it again. If it's just not, if it's too quiet for you. You could do that, hammer on pull-off, or you can do the hammer pluck, pull-off pluck, like that. So I have, and then I pluck the open A string, and then pluck the 3rd fret of the E string again. Do you see how my pointer finger remained there, in this spot right here? It's not going to move. It's going to serve as my anchor. So I have pull off, pluck, pull, hammer, open 3, again, and then I have that 3, 3, 3, 0, G7 chord, 3rd fret. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Now we have some outros. This is a really cute one. So what I did there is that I have finger number 3 on the 3rd fret of the E string, and I'm going to pluck that 3 times. And then finger number 1 is going to be placed on the 2nd fret of the C string, and then I'm going to hammer on to the 4th fret. Like that. So I pluck that 2nd fret, and then I hammer onto the 4th fret. And then I release all of my fingers, pluck that open C string. I have a C chord, and then I lightly touch my strings so that it's a staccato. It's a very abrupt ending. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. All right, so it would sound like this. Now, for the next level, you're going to play that first measure twice, and then you're going to end it. So it's an extended ending, so to speak. So it sounds like this. similar to the intro that we had with that. All right, so if you've mastered that one, this is a good step up. So we have a G7, hammer on pull off, third to the second fret. So pluck that third fret of the E string, pull off, and then hammer on back. So pointer finger is planted on that second fret. Do you see that? So I have G7, I slide over. Now I'm in this position to play my hammer on and pull off. Just keep that as your anchor. It just really helps me a lot. So G7, hammer on pull off, open, A string, back to the third fret, pull off, hammer on. So that hammer on pull off to the third and the second fret, that's going to reoccur quite a bit. So G7, hammer on pull off, and then hammer on pull off, and then we have a C chord, and then we have a C7. That and a tremolo. Now, how I'm doing the tremolo is that I am taking my pointer finger and I am rapidly just scraping across or just lightly feathering across my strings. So I was talking with Sarah Meisel and she was talking about strumming the ukulele, and it's like she described it as grabbing a door handle and then turning it. And so I thought, like, okay, it's kind of like when you, how you doing? You ask somebody how you're doing, you're like, I'm okay. See that pivot of my wrist this way? Just like that door handle, pivot of my wrist. Now take your pointer finger, point it toward your toes. All right, and now give me that, I'm okay, or like, oh yeah, chakra. This way. See my finger? It's going back and forth. Now bring it toward your belly button, and then try that same motion. Yes. So if you're wondering how the ukulele players be able to play so quickly, yes, they practice the that feathering of the strings. All right, so if you've mastered that one, this is a good step up. Sound like this. Da-da, jazz hands. I'm going to assign each finger a string for this one. So my thumb is going to be assigned to the C string, pointer to the E string, middle finger to the A string. I'm going to take this G7 shape right here, and I'm going to slide it up to the 5th fret and the 6th fret. So if you look, you should have a dot on your ukulele. I have it right here. I call it my ukulele GPS, my mental mile marker. And I am going to pluck an arpeggio. So first I'm going to pluck the C string, then the E string, then the A string. Like that. And then I'm going to pluck the E string again. So it's thumb, pointer, middle, pointer. I'm going to repeat that picking pattern. I'm going to slide my fingers down to the 4th and the 5th fret now. I'm going to slide it down one more fret. Same finger picking pattern. Thumb, pointer, middle, pointer. Slide it again. And then I strum a G7 chord. So it'll sound like this. Okay, now from here we go into that little riff that we learned before. Sound like this. Da-da, jazz hands. So I'm going to use Bare Necessities as my example again. Look for the bare necessities. It's in the key of C, and it's really fun and jumpy and sounds like a fun swinging tune. And there's a tutorial coming out for that. So practice these riffs, practice these intros and outros, and then with the tutorial of Bare Necessities, you're going to notice that, like, oh, I used this intro and this outro to end it, but you could really use the first intro, the second intro, the first outro, the second outro, and they're interchangeable. So I think that that would be really fun. It just helps you expand your learning and take it to the next level. So be on the lookout for Bare Necessities. That one is coming out after this tutorial. The bare necessities will come to you. Will come to you. Now, if you want the metronome. Now, if you want the metronome leveled exercises, those are going to be available for my Patreon patrons. So if you're not a Patreon patron, please consider supporting me on Patreon because you will find exclusive content there. You won't be able to find it anywhere else. Okay, so happy practicing. I hope that this was a lot of fun and you're able to sprinkle it into different songs. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.